I just want to thank Uncle David, Pastor, for having me preach tonight. It's been a little while since I preached last time. I kind of got a little lazy and don't have any excuses. But I want to thank God for him, like I said, for thinking enough of me that I want to say he asked me to preach, but he come to me Sunday morning and in the middle of service, worship service, he said, you got a message to preach. And I said, no. He said, okay, well, you got 3 days. I said, okay. So anyways, I want to thank God, he could have, when I said no, he could have said, well, okay, well, maybe next time we'll find somebody else, but he didn't do that. He held me to it, and I guess he's figured me out by now. I need a push sometimes, so I'm one of them people that I have this problem with saying no before yes a lot of times. So, but anyway, like I said, I just want to thank God that he asked me to preach. And when we was on our way to church Sunday morning, we was coming down Spruce Avenue, and everything was fine. It was Easter morning. Everything was good. There was nothing on my mind. We had Caleb playing, and actually, all songs, Graves into Gardens was playing. And it's one of my favorite songs in the world. And got the radio playing, and I'm singing along with the song and all that. Everything was fine, Really had nothing on my mind. I was listening to the song. And I pulled up to the stop sign in front of the church. And I heard God say, do not be deceived. And I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, like I said, there was nothing on my mind. And God out of nowhere, he told me, he said, do not be deceived. I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, what are you talking about, God? Why are you telling me do not be deceived? I'm thinking somebody lied to me or something, I didn't know what it was. So anyways, we come into church, and worship service started going on. And I'm still thinking about it, do not be deceived. What does it mean? And so anyway, that's when Uncle David come over and informed me that I was going to be preaching tonight. And again, I'm sitting there, I'm thinking about it, what does this mean, do not be deceived? And then Shirley was doing the worship service, and she was giving her testimony about her battle with depression and being delivered of depression. And, I've heard her give the testimony a few times throughout the worship services, but something that she said during her testimony, I don't know if she said it before or if I just never heard it before, but she was talking about when the doctor told her that she was going to need to be on the medication. You said when you needed to be on the medication if you ever wanted to have a normal life. Your faith wouldn't let you do that. You didn't want to be dependent on that for the rest of your life. You gave it to God, and you were delivered, And everything just kind of started clicking together, Yeah. The do not be deceived part, that started making sense after her testimony. The devil and the doctor was trying to deceive her, She could have been deceived into, oh, well, the doctor said, I got to take this medication. Well, if he's a doctor, he's right. Who knows what would have happened if she would have got on that medication? We'll never know. We don't ever have to know. But anyways, after that, it all kind of, everything just started. My message is not about Shirley and her deliverance, but that started it. And, after that, God started showing me more and more and more things. And he led me to, I got a lot of reading to do tonight, so you have to bear with me. But he led me to Numbers 13. Let me grab my Bible here. Pretty familiar story, Numbers 13. 13, this is when God had promised them the promised land. And in chapter 13, verse 1, it starts, "And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Send thou men, that they may search the land of Canaan, which I give unto the children of Israel." If you want to highlight anything, you can highlight "give unto the children." It says, "Search the land of Canaan, which I give unto the children of Israel. Of every tribe of their fathers shall ye send a man, every one a ruler among them." And Moses, by the commandment of the Lord, sent them from the wilderness of Paran. All those men were heads of the children of Israel. And it goes on to name all the names here. It goes on from verse 4 to 16. And if you skip over to 17, verse 17, chapter 13, and it says, "And Moses sent them to spy out the land of Canaan, and said unto them, Get you up this way southward, and go up into the mountain, and see the land what it is, and the people that dwelleth therein, whether they may be strong or weak, few or many, and what the land is that they dwell in, whether it be good or bad, and what cities they be that they dwell in, whether in tents or in strongholds, and what the land is, whether it be fat or lean, whether it be wood therein or not, and be ye of good courage, and bring of the fruit of the land." Now the time was the time of first ripe grapes. So they went up and searched the land from the wilderness of Zin unto Rehoboth, as men come to Hamath. And they ascended by the south, and came unto Hebron, where Ahiman, Sheshai, and Talmai, the children of Anak were. The children of Anak were giants. Now Hebron was built 7 years before Zoan in Egypt. And they came unto the brook of Eshcol, and cut down from thence a branch with one cluster of grapes, and they bare it between two upon a staff, and they brought of the pomegranates and of the figs. The place of the brook Eshcol, because of the cluster of grapes, which the children of Israel cut down from thence. And they returned from the searching the land after 40 days. And they went and they came to Moses and Aaron, and to all the congregation of the children of Israel, unto the wilderness of Paran and Kadesh, and brought back word unto them and unto all the congregation, and showed them the fruit of the land. And they told him and said, We came unto the land whither thou sent us, and surely it floweth with milk and honey, and this is the fruit of it. Nevertheless, the people be strong that dwell on the land, and the cities are walled and very great. And moreover, we saw the children of Anak there. Again, children of Anak are giants. And the Amalekites dwell in the land of the south, and the Hittites, and the Jebusites, and the Amorites dwell in the mountains, and the Canaanites dwell by the sea and by the coast of Jordan. And Caleb stilled the people before Moses and said, Let us go up at once and possess it, for we are able to overcome it. But the men that went up with him said, We be not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we. And they brought up an evil report of the land, and they had searched unto the children of Israel, saying, The land through which we have gone to search it is a land that eateth up the inhabitants thereof. And all the people that we saw there, And all the people that we saw in it are men of great stature. And there we saw the giants, the sons of Anak, which come of the giants, and we are in our own sight as grasshoppers, so we were in their sight. I got some notes here. Where they went wrong, their lack of faith allowed them to be deceived. God told them to go in and possess the land. God promised them the land.
That's right.
He said, it's yours. Just go take it. All you got to do. Pretty simple. Just go in and take the land that I told you you could have. But when Moses went there, he didn't just go in. He told them, he said, well, go search out this land and make sure that it's safe for us to go into. Make sure that we're not going to be killed. I'm putting it in my own words. Make sure that the land is safe. Make sure, we're not going to get killed in there. Make sure, that this land is a place that we're actually going to be able to live at. And they allowed themselves to be deceived, and they went in, and then they searched the land, and they went in there and they seen all the giants, and they was afraid of it. They seen all the strongholds. They seen, they seen it in the natural, and God just showed me, when you look at things in the natural, you can allow, it works both ways. A lack of faith can allow you to be deceived. And being deceived can also affect your faith.
That's good.
It works both ways. And that's the importance of, keeping your faith, keeping your connection with God. If their faith would have been greater, they wouldn't have went in and checked out the land. They would have just went right in boldly and took the land the way they was instructed to. And let me see here. I got a couple more scriptures to read. Over in 14 now, chapter 14. And it says, and all the congregation lifted up their voice and cried, and the people wept at night. They were terrified. They was deceived by the bad report. These people, they was terrified. It says they wept at night. And all the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron. And the whole congregation said to them, would God that we died in the land of Egypt, or would God we died in the wilderness? And wherefore hath the Lord brought us into the land to fall by the sword, that our wives and children should be a prey? Were it not better for us to return unto Egypt? And they said to one another, let us make a captain, and let us return unto Egypt. They was that terrified by what they seen, and what they really, not even what they seen, what they heard.
That's good.
That they thought they was going to be better off going back into bondage.
Come on.
They were safe back in Egypt. They were slaves, but they were safe. They was fed every day. They had a house. They had a roof over their head. They had everything that they wanted, that they thought they needed. They spent 400 years in bondage.
Think about it.
That's some of them people. That's all they knew was the bondage, and they felt safe there because, again, like I said, they fed a meal every day. Now they're being told that they're going to be killed. That that they don't have a chance. They've went through everything they went through in Egypt with all the can't think of the word right now. The locusts and the plagues. They went through all the plagues, they went through all that. Came through with all that whole journey, everything that they came through, and now they finally got to the promised land. And here, now they don't want to even go. Now they're too terrified because of a bad report. Yeah. They was deceived. They was missing out on their promise over deceit, over their lack of faith, And it goes on to say here, let me see. It goes on in chapter 14, verse 21. Now they've angered God with their lack of faith, and God's beginning to punish them. It says, "But as truly," this is God speaking, "but as truly as I live, all the earth shall be filled with the glory of the Lord. Because all these men which have seen my glory and my miracles, which I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and have tempted me now these 10 times, and have not hearkened to my voice. Surely they shall not see the Lamb which I swear unto them, unto their fathers, neither shall any of them that provoke me see it." Again, I know I keep repeating myself, but because of their lack of faith, they allowed themselves to be deceived. And it's angered God, and now God's telling them, "You're not going to get your promise." Yeah. He's telling them, I was giving you your promise for free.
That was good.
You didn't have to do nothing. All you had to do was accept it. And now you're not going to get it. And God went on to tell them in chapter 14 here, when God told them, that they was going to be in the wilderness. They was going to wander the wilderness for 40 years. The reason for them wandering the wilderness for 40 years was because of the older generation was going to die off. It's good. Let me see, I have notes here. I'll read it to you. Okay, so here, if you look in chapter 14, starting in verse 26, it says, "And the Lord spoke unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, How long shall I bear with this evil congregation, which murmur against me? I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel, which they murmur against me. Say unto them, As truly as I live, saith the Lord, as ye have spoken in mine ears, so will I do to you. Your carcasses shall fall in this wilderness, and all that were numbered of you, according to your whole number, from 20 years old and upward, which have murmured against me." Now this is if you want to mark something down, mark down verse 30. It says, Doubtless ye shall not come into the land, concerning which I swear to make you dwell therein, save Caleb the son of Jephunneh and Joshua the son of Nun. If you go back to find it. Got everything scribbled down on this paper here. Okay, chapter 14 and 6. It says, And Joshua the son of Nun, and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, which were of them that searched the land, rent their clothes. And they spake unto the company of the children of Israel, saying, The land which we passed through to search it is an exceedingly good land. If the Lord delight in us, then he will bring us into the land and give it to us, a land that's flowing with milk and honey. Only rebel not ye against the Lord, neither fear the people of the land. They are bread for us, their defense is departed from us, and the Lord is with us, fear them not. And then that's when it tells you, it says, But all the congregation bade stone them with stones, and the glory of the Lord appeared in the tabernacle of the congregation before all the children. And the Lord said unto Moses, How long will the people provoke me, and how long will it be before they believe me, for all the signs which I have shown among them? I will smite them with pestilence, and disinherit them, and will make of thee a greater nation, and mightier than they. One of my scriptures that I wasn't supposed to read yet. I'm just trying to find it again. But, the children of Israel, the ones that were complaining and the ones that were scared, they never got to see the promised land. God revoked it from them. He said, You're never going to see it. But Joshua and Caleb, they're the ones. They said, Well, let's go take the land. They said that they were just bread to us, we can defeat them. Well, who got the land? Joshua and Caleb did.
That was good.
And I had a lot more,
That was good.
but I feel like that's where God wanted me to stop with it at. But, the point of it all is allowing yourself to be deceived of the devil. You see everything that's going on the news every day, on the media, on Facebook. I'm one of the most guilty people here of posting things on Facebook or reposting them of things I've seen on the news. I've tried to stop that over the past couple of days. If anybody's noticed, it's presently on Facebook. I've really cut down on it. Maybe one or two a day at tops. But, I was one of them people that was every 10 minutes reposting what I seen on Facebook. And then, God actually did convict me of it. He said, all you're doing is just spreading doom and gloom. I don't have to spread it. Everybody's going to see it anyhow. So why do I have to be part of it? But anyways, but if you look, really though, if you look at what's going on in the news right now, with the vaccines and the people going crazy over not wearing masks, and now they're talking about this passport, this vaccine passport. Everything that's on the news is depressing. We got enough going on in our lives anyhow. Sit and worry about that. God already told us in the Bible that He wins in the end, and we win in the end. So really, there's really no use in worrying about it. Of course, you do need to be smart and have common sense. That's just common sense. But allowing yourself to be deceived, I used to be the type of person, I could sleep in 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Rainy days was my favorite days because I could sleep in until 11 o'clock in the morning. There's days anymore, I'll wake up 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. My brain starts going 100 miles an hour. All the things that I need to do, all the things that I put off, things that I should have done yesterday that I didn't do that's caught up with me now, And I start, I'll lay at night gasping for air, and I have to jump up and get out of the bed because the longer I lay in bed, the more things start spinning in my head. I'm being deceived. you know, with this anxiousness, you know what I mean? It's not of God. God tells us not to be anxious. You know, I mean, in so many, I mean, there's a million things, you know, that we can be deceived about. It's not just the news, not just the anxiety, it's not just the depression. You know, I mean, you look at the drug addicts and the alcoholics, they're convinced that they need it. You know what I mean? There's other people that's out there doing other sins that's convinced that they need to do that. You know, I'm not going to start touching on anything specific, but you know, you just gotta just stay in the Word. You know, stay with God. You know, don't. I keep saying it, but don't allow yourself to be deceived. Joshua and Caleb, they wasn't going to listen to the bad report. They made that decision. God told us that, you know, they was naive enough to believe God. You know what I mean? And they said, well, God told us we can have it, let's go get it. What did God do? God said, here it is. Go have it, you know. If you was to take a vault up here and put $1 billion for every person in this church, and you open it up and say, here's $1 billion for every one of you. You just run right up there and take it. You know, nobody would be checking to see if it's counterfeit money. Nobody would be questioning it. You go up there and they take it, you know. New building would be built by next week outside. The parking lot would look like a Bentley dealership. You know what I mean? I mean that's the way it is. You know, and so many people that have been talked out of their promise. You know, so many people's been deceived out of their promise. You might have been waiting for a while for it. The devil got you. You're not going to get that promise. You know, it's too late for you now. You know, you committed too many sins in your past. You don't deserve that promise. No, you don't deserve that promise. But God's given it to you anyhow. He said it's yours. So just come and take it. You know, and that's really it. I mean, that's.